Lao Vuong was once a notorious gangster in the area. He was famous not only for his brutality in the business but also for his complex relationships with various gangs. His subordinates were so numerous that no one dared to touch him. For a long time, Lao Vuong's life revolved around bloody heists, violent clashes, and dirty jobs. But then, one day, Lao Vuong realized that everything was coming to an end. This life was not only wearing him out but also leaving him feeling empty. Lao Vuong's wife, Mrs. Lan, left him after a huge argument. This was not the first time his wife had angrily left the house, but this time it was the last. Mrs. Lan could no longer stand the life he had created, a life filled with violence and deceit. "I can't live with someone like you anymore, Vuong. You don't deserve a family," Mrs. Lan said as she carried her suitcase out of the house. Lao Vuong stood frozen, unsure of what to say. And so, Mrs. Lan left, leaving him alone in the empty house, with only his wandering thoughts. The breakdown of the marriage was a huge shock for Lao Vuong. He began to wonder if he still had the strength to continue living a life filled with crimes. Had everything he had done for so many years been wrong? Suddenly, he remembered the words Mrs. Lan had said before leaving, "You're no longer the person I loved. You're just a selfish and ruthless man. You don't appreciate what you have." Those words made him think a lot. After that night, Lao Vuong decided to leave the life of a gangster. He sold all his assets, cut off contact with his underlings, and sought a quiet place, away from crime, to start anew. Lao Vuong found a piece of land in the countryside, a place with no gunfire or chases, only wide-open spaces and peace. And then, he decided to try his hand at something he had never considered before, duck farming. At first, many people in the village looked at him with suspicion. How could a notorious gangster like Lao Vuong suddenly start raising ducks? It seemed like an enormous change. But Lao Vuong didn't care, he was determined. His determination was not just to prove something to others but to prove to himself that he could start a new life. He began by researching different duck breeds. After several days of study, Lao Vuong decided to choose a high-yield meat duck breed, known for its productivity and resistance to disease. He invested in modern farming equipment, from the barn systems to the feeding mechanisms. The ducks he raised were given meticulous care, from vaccinations to proper nutrition. Lao Vuong applied modern farming methods that he had learned from books and from other experienced farmers. Every day, Lao Vuong woke up early to check on the ducks. He didn't just care for them, he also researched ways to improve farming efficiency. Particularly, the food for the ducks was carefully chosen based on their growth stages. He used high-nutrient plant-based pellets as the primary feed, which helped the ducks grow healthy and with minimal sickness. With the application of new technologies, Lao Vuong's ducks thrived, with little disease and high productivity. Every year, he earned millions of dollars from selling duck meat and eggs. His life had completely changed, no more dark days filled with bloody heists, but a peaceful life full of achievements. Lao Vuong never regretted his decision to turn his life around. Although he no longer had a wife or children, he was always content and happy with his current life. The long days of taking care of the ducks gave him a sense of inner peace. Lao Vuong knew he had made the right choice, and this was the path he was meant to follow. Day by day, Lao Vuong became a well-known figure in the area, not because of his connections to the underworld but because of his success in duck farming. People began to call him the Duck Star or even the Duck Billionaire because of his wealth and success. Lao Vuong smiled and said, "That's my greatest pride. I've never felt prouder of myself than I do right now." Lao Vuong's transformation from a gangster, a notorious mob boss, to a duck farming billionaire is truly admirable. What's important is not how much money he has but how he has changed himself, overcome his dark past, and found joy and happiness in an honest profession. Lao Vuong always considered this to be the best decision of his life. Even in his old age, with no wife or children by his side, Lao Vuong was satisfied with his life. Every morning, when he woke up and looked at his healthy ducks, he felt he still had value, and that made him happy. He no longer felt lonely or regretted his past. Lao Vuong no longer needed to do bad things to feel valuable. His whole life had been rewritten with hard work, dedication, and the determination to change. And when people mention his name, they no longer think of him as the ruthless gangster, but as the duck farming billionaire who proved that no matter where you come from, anyone can turn their life around if they have enough determination. Duck harvesting process. The duck harvesting process is an important step in the farming chain, requiring careful preparation and meticulous care to ensure the product's quality. Below is the harvesting process from preparation to completion. Harvesting plan. Before harvesting, the farmer needs to make a clear plan about the harvest time, the number of ducks to be harvested, and the necessary tools and equipment. Harvesting time is usually determined based on the age of the ducks and their purpose, meat or eggs. Meat ducks, typically harvested when they reach a weight of 2.5 to 3 kilograms, for meat breeds. Ducks can be harvested from 6 to 8 weeks old. Egg ducks, harvested when they reach the egg-laying age, usually from 18 to 20 weeks old. Check duck health. Before harvesting, it is necessary to check the health of the ducks to ensure that none of them are sick, injured, or weak. Weak or sick ducks should be removed from the flock to prevent the spread of disease and to maintain meat quality. Stop feeding. 12 to 24 hours before harvesting, feeding should be stopped to help the ducks clean out their digestive systems, reduce odors during processing, and make transportation easier. However, ensure that the ducks still have enough water to maintain their health. Prepare harvesting tools. Necessary tools include containers, to store the ducks after they are caught. Cutting knife, used to slaughter the ducks. Slaughter table, for easy processing. Cleaning equipment, hot water, feathers, feather plucker or hand plucking table. Clean workspace, ensure hygiene throughout the slaughter and processing steps. Catch the ducks. This step requires care and skill to avoid stressing or injuring the ducks. Ducks can be caught individually or in groups depending on the quantity. If there are a large number of ducks, nets can be used to catch them. Slaughtering the ducks. Cut the throat. Using a sharp knife, cut the neck of the duck to drain the blood. After the throat is cut, blood will drain out, preventing bruising or unpleasant odors. Soak in hot water. After cutting the throat, the ducks are soaked in hot water, 60 to 65 degrees Celsius, to soften the feathers and make plucking easier. Plucking. After soaking, pluck the feathers by hand or using a feather plucker machine if available. Evisceration and cleaning. Once the ducks are plucked, gut the duck, open the belly to remove internal organs such as the intestines, liver, heart, and lungs. These parts should be carefully removed to avoid rupturing the bile, which would make the meat bitter. Clean. After removing the internal organs, wash the inside of the duck to remove any impurities. These parts can also be kept for making other dishes. Classification and packaging. Classification. After slaughtering, ducks are classified according to quality. Ducks that are well-shaped and undamaged are sorted into the high-quality category. Packaging. Ducks can be packed fresh in clean packaging or processed into ready-made products, such as roasted ducks, grilled ducks, or canned ducks. If long-term storage is needed, they can be packaged and frozen. Product storage. After harvesting, the duck products need to be stored properly to maintain quality. Fresh storage. If consumed within the day, ducks can be stored in the refrigerator at a temperature of 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. Frozen storage. If not consumed immediately, ducks need to be frozen at temperatures below -18 degrees Celsius for long-term preservation. Post-harvest cleaning. Finally, after the harvesting process is completed, the workspace and tools need to be cleaned thoroughly to ensure no bacteria or pathogens remain. The duck should be checked again before being delivered to customers or the market. Delivery. After completing the harvesting process, delivering or distributing the products to distributors or the consumer market must be done quickly and in accordance with storage protocols to ensure the product remains fresh.